I was sorry when they left, even though I'd stopped making them bring me cookies when I saw them flinch as I came into the laundry room one day. Red fed me more often then, though. Now I think they could flinch all they wanted and hurt them until my belly was full. I stopped at a gas station on the way to the park, peanut butter crackers paid for and stuffed into my mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The woman behind the counter had dark hair, but no one reminds me of my mother anymore. The park is very crowded. Older kids talking and smoking, the ones that don't fit in taking time to push the smaller ones around, laughing at their power and how it works. The 2 dark-haired little girls from yesterday turn out to be biters, scrappy little things with snapping teeth, and when an older man, harmless because his eyes are nothing like Ray's, asks them if they need help, they scream and scream until a policewoman wanders over and asks what's going on, looking bored and rubbing the small of her back. I will have to tell Ray there are cops around. He will not like that. He will not like the 2 little girls anymore either. They have seen things, I can tell from their screams, and they will spot him right away. They both look at me when they leave, dragged out by an older boy with fuzz above his upper lip and dirt under his fingernails. No, they will not do. They are rattling hollow under their scrawling eyes, life being drained out of them already. Ray will not want that. He will want someone whose eyes need to be opened. I look for the little blonde girl, the thumbsucker, but she's not there. I only see Notebook Girl, the bossy thing who actually spoke to me. She is sitting on the swings, eyes vacant, as she looks up into the sky. I can't figure out what she's doing. She doesn't look like she's trying to think something out of something, but she's trying to think into it. She's pretending she's a cloud. I look and see a boy watching me. His eyes are raised, hungry, but it's a simple hunger, easy to read. He is looking at me like how boys look at girls, who live below us when they talk to them on the stairs. Hands under their shirts as the girls giggle and then pretend they want to stop when they see me. I just came to get her and bring her home, he says, sitting down next to me, thigh pushing against mine. He is skinny with long bony fingers. You go to school around here? No, I say, and since I haven't moved my legs away, he leans in towards me. His breath smells like pizza. Ray used to let me eat pizza. I remember the taste of cheese, of pepperoni, grease on my lips. Want to hang out, he says, and I notice that behind the hunger in his eyes are dazed, like he doesn't or won't see the world. My car is right behind us, and I've got some pills. What's your sister's name? He blinks at me. Lucy. I'm Jake. Guess I should have said that before. I shrug. He grins nervous. See his gums? They are pink-red, shiny. So you wanna? I nod. He takes my hand, walks me to his car. Long walk. Car in the back of the parking lot. Shadowed by trees. All along. Hiding place. There's a piece of sidewalk, broken, right beside it. There has been one other boy. It was when I was 14, right after Ray put me on the pill. He whistled at me when I walked to the bathroom at the back of the supermarket. Ray telling me to hurry up while he waited in line at the pharmacy counter for his cholesterol pills. The whistling boy came up to me by the bathroom and asked if I wanted company. He had bright red pimples, angry oozing sores all over his face, and when I said yes, he blinked and turned like he was going to run away until I dropped to my knees in front of him. I did it because he was so surprised-looking, and because his skin was so angry-looking, and because I saw he saw my eyes and thought about running. I did it because he was nothing. I did it because I wished Ray had used the knife instead of tying me to the chair. Ray saw my mouth when I came back and knew. I couldn't sit down for a week afterward, and my back, from my shoulders to about my knees, was purple-black, then yellow-green for ages. Both my little fingers had crooked knuckles now and ache before it rains. Jake's car is expensive, smell of money underneath the ripe scent of boy. I do not take the pills Jake offers. I know nothing can take away the world. I just push him down into his seat and open his zipper. The back seat's wider, he says, but I shake my head, and when he tries to threaten, his hands grabbing my hair, I dig my fingers into them, right into his skin, until he moves them away. When I'm done, I sit up and wipe my mouth with the back of my hand. He is looking at me, glassy-eyed, still. But something in my face changes that makes his expression shift, go on, alarmed, almost frightened. You, he says, trailing off, and I realize what he sees. That this was nothing to me, that his want was not mine. It's not mine. I lean in, staring at his eyes more closely. His face turns red. I have to go, he says. Get out of the car. Mouth works, and he spits out. Bitch. But it's a whimper. I smile to let him know I know his world is nothing, and he shivers, glassy eyes blinking fast. I watch him go, then circle around and stand by a cluster of trees almost out of sight of the swings. Lucy is still staring at the clouds, still dreaming. Jake comes back for her later, face smoothed out. The pills I saw him take swimming through him. He tells Lucy something, and she stops swinging but doesn't come with him. She is still watching the sky. I wait for him to grab her arm, but he doesn't. He just waits. Hands shoved in his pockets, shoulders hunched, and eventually she looks away from the clouds and walks, turning in wide circles and telling stories out of the park. I walk to the bus stop and wait. On the way back, I try to picture having things I want, like mountains of food or sleeping with Aunt Ray beside me, but I can't. I can only see Ray's face when I tell him there's a girl, and then I know how we can get her. I can only see his reaction when I tell him my plan. I can't dream of clouds, but I can see the knife on the kitchen counter. I can dream of it inside me, opening me up and closing me down. 31. Ray is waiting when I get home, and one look at my face sends his fist crashing into me. Crack, into my chest, right near my heart. I can see all the way inside you, he spits, red-faced, voice deadly low. I see that you don't understand anything, Alice. I expected better from you. Curled up on the floor, white spots in my vision as I wiggle for air, wheezing in nothing as my body stops working for a moment, stunned, and I don't understand why it starts working again. I don't understand why Shell keeps living, breathing. Why won't it listen to me, to the little part I have that isn't Ray, to that tiny once-upon-a-time girl who just wants to close her eyes and never wake up again. 623 Daisy Lane, Helen and Glenn. That's why. Once upon a time I belonged to them, and they shouldn't suffer for that. Ray sits down next to me on the floor. I'm tired of this, he says. I love you, I trust you, I tell you what I want, and what do? Hurt me? He bends over and pushes my hair off my forehead. Crooked bangs he trimmed for me because Alice has bangs. Alice has bangs and loves him. He puts one hand on my throat, higher up than normal, and the pressure is a sharp hot flare of pain, bright like a light, and I am talking, babbling, grinding out words to a cracked throat. I have a plan. Never hurt you, never leave you, love you, please, love you, please. I am the living dead girl because I am too weak to die. I hate those crying doe women on TV because they are just like me, weak and broken and clinging to the hands that hold us under. Plan, Ray says, still red-faced, spit flecking his mouth. This was what the last Alice saw, maybe. The Alice who wasn't afraid as I am, who is so much stronger. I dream of a knife in my chest, but will never plunge it in. Will beg and plead to keep it away when Ray pushes it into me. I strangle out my plan in broken words as Ray puts ice on my throat and rubs my ribs and carries me to the sofa. Careful, tender as he opens my clothes and marks me all over. This boy comes and picks up his sister, he says, rubbing my feet while he stares at the dark TV. Turned off and silent, he still stares at it, playing out stories in his head. But not until she's been there for a while, I say, my toes curling up under his fingers, my throat hot with pain. I touch one hand to the fish-shaped bruise blooming near my heart, and at least my feet don't hurt. Ray knows how to rub feet. He used to do it a lot for his mother, back when he was young. What does his car look like? Red, I say, and when Ray pauses, hands hovering over my feet, I spit out what I can remember. He starts rubbing my feet again, nodding. So I get her, and when the boy comes, you keep him busy? I know you can do that, eyes going angry and bitter, pressure on my feet. And then I'll come find you, take care of him, and well, he pauses, eyes gleaming, and his fingers skate feather light over my feet. We'll put Annabelle's things in his car, a little dirt and blood on them, maybe a little on him, and then we'll vanish and he's left with a story of a girl who can't be found. He chuckles. 2 even. Annabelle. He's not calling her Alice. My bruised heart flutters. A trapped bird. Annabelle? We'll go to the desert, he says. I decided that today. The desert for sure. You and me and baby girl makes 3. At night you'll sit and hold hands while I show her how lucky she is to be loved. He is breathing faster now and pulls me towards him, a yank on my ankles drawing my ragdoll body in, lower half pushed against him. You'll hold her, he says, and everything I own is easily pushed down, away from clothes falling off me like water. You'll hold her and I'll love her.